What if the carbon we fear most, the one driving climate change, could become one of the Malaysia's greatest economic assets? Welcome to UTP Exchange, where ideas converge, the official podcast of University Technology Petronas. Here, we explore big ideas, bold innovations, and the future of education, research, and technology. Every time we switch on the lights, drive a car, or build a city, CO2 or carbon dioxide is released quietly, invisibly, but relentlessly. Now imagine if we could capture that carbon before it escapes, reuse it, or store it safely underground. That is carbon capture, utilization, and storage, CCUS. I'm Azwan, and today's episode looks at how CCUS sits at the intersection of climate responsibility, industrial competitiveness, and national policy, especially following Malaysia's carbon capture, utilization, and storage bill passed in March 2025. To help us unpack what this really means for Malaysia, industry, and future talent, I'm joined by Associate Professor, Engineer Dr. Lau Kok Kiong, UTP Chemical Engineering Department. Welcome, Dr. Lau, to UTP Exchange.
Hi, Dr. Azwan.
How are you?
Great.
Everything
nice
good?
to meet you. Yes.
Nice to meet you. Okay, let us start with the basic things, Dr. Lau. So for those listeners who may be hearing this term for the first time, what is exactly CCUS? And why it is so important now, Prof?
Okay, basically CCUS is a set of technology that designed to stop large amount of CO2 emitted into the atmosphere and contributing to climate change. And in short, CCUS involve capturing, transporting, storing or converting the CO2 into some more stable compound. And why it is so important? The climate change actually is something that we can see now, including in Malaysia. The recent tropical storm, Sanya, the frequent flooding that happened in Malaysia. In fact, all this is because of the rise of the mean global temperature. In the last year, in 2024, the global has experienced the hottest year. Basically, the mean global temperature has already exceeded 1.5 degrees C.
Wow,
and
that's
this
alarming.
is really an alarming level. And basically, if these conditions keep on going, what happens is, these extreme climates will actually affect the biodiversity.
Agree.
And it will actually impact the crops production. And if we don't do anything now, definitely it will affect our next generation. And we have seen the impact now, even in our current generation. So that's why, for me, CCUS is very, very crucial, actually.
But when you talk about this, when you talk about all this alarming thing, which is, I can see that we are now nearly to have this catastrophic failure of the climate.
Yes, we have already exceeded 1.5 degrees C.
Wow.
Because when we have this Paris Agreement in 2015, basically we set a target. We cannot exceed 2 degrees C. But now we already exceed 1.5 degrees C. Okay, so basically it's quite alarming. We have to do something now, actually, before everything becomes too late.
Wow, that's critical. That's really critical. So, for us to understand further about this CCUS and how it works, I can say that this is something like, we call it as carbon vacuum cleaner, or maybe even carbon recycling. I don't know whether this term is correct or wrong, but then these are the things that I can see it is more easiest for us to understand from our layman term.
Yeah, when we look at the terminology, the CCUS, we start with the C first. C is capture. So basically, it's involved capturing the CO2 from the CO2 emission source. The emission source can be from the power plant, can be also from industry like cement industry, steel industry. Those will actually release the CO2. So capturing it means basically we should have some technology to capture it. And after we capture it, we transport the capture technology through the pipeline. It could be a pipeline, or it could be transported through the ship. Okay? And then do a location in order we can store it permanently at the subsurface, or we can actually convert it. If you don't want to store it at the subsurface, we can actually convert it into other more stable compound like construction materials, fuel, and also polymers.
Yeah.
So this is some brief.
This is
Yeah,
how the mechanism of carbon capture is being
Yes.
done in the industry so far, right?
Yes. So
Right,
this is
that's
what
interesting.
the CCUS. The C is the capture.
All right.
The U is the utilization. The
Okay.
S is the storage.
Okay.
Basically, the word T is not there, lah. I would consider the T and the S is together. We need to transport and store it.
Yeah.
Actually.
But now you are putting it together as
Yeah, because it's a common term. You know, people are talking about CCUS instead of CTUS, right?
Oh, CTS. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay, this is the first time I've heard about.
Yes.
Instead of CCUS, we talk about CTUS. Wow, this is interesting.
Yeah,
Maybe you can
because
explore further about
because we need to have transportation because the storage site most of the time will not be located very near to the capture site.
Understood.
So
Understood.
you cannot store the CO2 behind the power plant.
Okay.
It should be gathered, it should be separated and send it to a hub. So how to send it through gas
Understood.
pipeline, through shipping. So the transportation is very crucial.
It's
I would
very
say.
critical as well.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Yeah, and this, what we have discussed now, is matters most. While renewable energy is growing, and some emissions are incredibly hardly to eliminate, especially from heavy industries. So how we are going to do this? Because yeah, we can talk about what are the industries that having this kind of issues, but which sectors that you see contributing most and that will benefit most as well when we have this kind of CCUS things?
Okay, first of all, before I talk about the sector, just give you a rough statistic about the CO2 emission per sectors, I would say.
Yeah.
So basically, power industry contributing about 40 to 50% of the CO2 emission.
Yeah.
And definitely you have an impression, say, oh, probably this is hard to abate sector. Actually, no. Why I say the power industry is not the hard to abate sector?
Okay.
Because we can actually apply fuel switching. If we switch the fuel that we require to power the energy, for example, most of our power plant at the moment is using coal or using natural gas to generate the electricity. But if we switch it to other alternative, for example, nuclear, we
Okay.
change it into wind, we change it into solar. So basically, we are not using fossil fuel anymore.
Okay.
In fact, we are not burning the fossil fuel, we are not generating the CO2. So indirectly, we are reducing or minimizing the utilization of, the emission of CO2.
Okay.
So to some extent, basically we can actually overcome the issue of the power industry emitting the CO2 by switching the fuel.
Oh.
But for some of the sector, we cannot do it.
Okay.
It's what we call hard to abate sector.
I see.
I give you an example. For example, steel, cement, oil and gas, and some of the transportation sector.
Yep.
For steel, in order to produce steel, the environment must be high temperature.
Understood.
And we cannot use electricity to produce a very high temperature environment. Still need to depend on fossil fuel.
Wow.
And for cement,
Yep.
the cement production process is generating CO2. Cement is produced from calcium carbonate limestone. When you react limestone, basically you are producing CO2.
Yep.
So the CO2 is coming up from the process itself.
Yep.
We talk about oil and gas. Okay, some of the chemical process also require high temperature.
Understood.
So we cannot avoid using fossil fuel to create that environment.
Okay.
And also some of the oil and gas process like natural gas processing. Basically, we need to because the process is generating CO2 because the CO2 already associated with the natural gas. So we cannot avoid that.
Understood.
And finally, when I talk about transportation, then definitely you will argue with me saying that, oh, how about EVs, right? We see so many EV on the road.
Exactly.
Yes, I agree, but not 100% in the transportation. I think we have to bear in mind that we travel through planes.
Okay,
It's very rare to have electric plane because of the range, because of the requirement.
Exactly.
We cannot have electric plane.
Yeah.
Also ship, the cargo. We cannot have electric ship that transporting goods from Europe to Asia.
Using
That is
battery.
really a challenge. So that's why I'm not saying that we cannot have low carbon solution for this hard to abate sector, but the process is going to be very complex. It's very challenging as compared to power industry.
I see.
Because power industry, we always proceed with the switch of the fuel, then we can overcome the issue.
Okay.
But for this hard to abate sectors, it's really challenging. So that's why we need CCUS for this industry in the future even.
Okay.
Because for power industry, because now everybody is talking about energy transition, right? So probably after few years, we have this kind of fusion technology, fusion energy.
Yeah.
So we got a large amount of energy from fusion.
Yep.
So basically, we don't really need to use fossil fuel. So we can reduce the 50% of CO2 emission from the
Wow.
power.
Wow.
But we still have 50%.
Exactly.
That 50%
exactly.
is contributed by cement,
But
steel,
at least
oil and gas.
reduction of 50%
Yes,
is good enough.
but that 50%, we still need CCUS to overcome it for the next probably 20, 30 years. We still need CCUS actually.
Exactly.
That's why I say CCUS play an important role to these hard-to-abate sectors.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. Because when you talk about this, at least the area that I'm working now is still relevant for about 20 to 30 years.
Yes.
All right. Okay. We'll go to the next one, which is, Malaysia is often described as having the potential to become a regional CCUS hub. This is what I've been heard as well when I have one discussion with one of my Korean colleagues where they're interested to invest something in Malaysia about these CCUS things. And why Malaysia? What makes Malaysia and why Malaysia is so well positioned about this CCUS?
If you ask me, I think we have three competitive advantage.
Yeah.
First is about our location in terms of geological storage potential. Because based on Global CCS Institute, Malaysia have 13 gigatons of CO2
Wow.
storage capacity. And
That's many.
how big is it? This storage capacity, just want to share with you, actually potentially surpass Malaysia domestic needs.
Yeah.
It means that when we calculate the amount of CO2 that we are going to emit, it's enough to store all the CO2 that we emit. Okay? And on top of that, we still have surplus of storage capacity.
Wow.
So with this, basically, we can offer storage potential to other countries like Japan, Korea, and Singapore. This
Exactly.
is the first advantage. The second is about the transportation infrastructure.
Okay.
At the moment, Malaysia basically is developing the CCS hub in Malaysia.
Wow.
There are three CCS hub that's going to be developed in Malaysia. Two in Peninsular Malaysia. It's what we call a northern hub. It will be located in Kerteh.
Okay.
Southern hub located in Kuantan.
Okay.
We also have eastern hub located in Bintulu. So why we need this CCS hub?
Okay.
Because we need CCS hub actually to gather the CO2 source. The source could come from the Peninsular Malaysia through the pipeline. The source can also come from overseas, from the cargo that bringing the CO2
Wow.
liquid. Yes, so the hub will be basically some infrastructure to gather, to condition the CO2 before they will send it into the pipeline or send it to ship to transport it to offshore and store it at the depleted oil field or saline aquifer in Malaysia.
Wow.
This is the second advantage that we have. Finally is about the CCUS Act 2025. I think you highlight about this CCUS Act. So basically, this act is a landmark law that establishing the first dedicated legal framework for CCUS in Malaysia.
Wow.
Basically, this act also creating the first Malaysia carbon capture, utilization and storage CCUS agency. There's an agency that's specifically created from this act to regulate the regulations for the entire value chain of CCUS.
Understood.
It provides legal certainty, promote offshore storage, and position Malaysia as a regional hub featuring licensing, monitoring, and post-closure stewardship fund, and also the technical standard,
Wow.
which is very, very comprehensive and holistic in supporting Malaysia as the regional hub for the CCUS.
So that's mean it's not limited to only the location of Malaysia, which can be some sort of the location where it is suitable for Japan, Korea that you mentioned just now, but in terms of act which protecting us is also critical in the sense and make us what we call this the regional CCS hub that is more suitable.
Yes.
How about you see this is we talk about Asia, we talk about Southeast Asia. How you see this in the form of global, where Europe, US, I don't know. You may have some information about this.
Yes, because in Europe, basically they already have this kind of the CCUS hub actually in Europe. Actually, it's
Understood.
not mistaken. So, but in South Asia, is still something new.
I
If we
see.
look at Thailand, in Indonesia
Yeah,
as compared
yeah.
to Malaysia,
Yeah.
actually we are the only country that having a central authority. It's what we call My
see.
CCUS agency that actually encompasses several ministry.
Wow.
It's
This
from
is the first time I've heard about my
yes,
CCUS agency.
is My
Oh, this is
CCUS
interesting.
agency that
Yeah.
actually it's actually championed by MITI,
Oh, that's
but
great.
actually it's covering a few agency involved. For example, we have Ministry of Natural Resources, MOSTI, you know, even MOHI. So basically, it's not like some other country. They only have one specific ministry,
Okay.
in which this ministry is actually regulating and actually managing the whole CCUS. Because CCUS is not only it's not a very straightforward kind of technology. It's not only a straightforward kind of implementation of policy. So it should be a cross ministry. So you need to have a central authority in order to actually implement this. So I think we take the right move. Malaysia have the My CCUS agency.
Okay.
So basically we have a focal point, a one-stop center that actually manage all the whole ecosystem and the value chain for the CCUS.
In that sense, I can see that we are ready for that. We are ready.
Yes,
Malaysia
we
is
are ready for that. We have the act, we have the infrastructure, we have the business network actually by our national oil and gas company Petronas. So basically, we are ready for that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. You talk a lot about now. I can see that Malaysia is ready for this, and of course, you know the students, right? We are basically producing graduates. We are producing manpower for the industries. We are producing manpower for Malaysia, for the world. So I can see that a lot of opportunity can be obtained by the students, right? So what kind of careers and skill does the CCUS ecosystem open up? Because this is very much important, because even if we have this kind of industry where covering by this CCUS, the Malaysia, the government, the industry have all these facilities, but at the end of the day, who will work with them?
Yeah.
And what are the skills that our students should have in order to work with them?
Okay. Pertaining to the question, actually, I have attended several engagement and workshop with the CCUS stakeholders in Malaysia, including the industrial players from the cement, from the steel, the oil and gas, the power industry, and also government agency like MOSTI, MITI. So all parties almost have the same agreement that there is a lack of talent for CCUS implementation. If you want to implement, we do not have enough talent, especially in the following area that I'm going to share with you.
Okay.
First is for the capture, that we are talking about. Do we have expert or talent in the specific advanced absorption technology and also membrane? That is related to chemical engineering.
Understood.
And for the transportation, we are talking about pipeline and ship. We need talent in advanced materials, mechanical and marine engineering, because we're talking about transporting the CO2. For the storage, we're talking about injections and also monitoring. You're from petroleum engineering, definitely it's very crucial, and it should be, we need talent from petroleum and geoscience department, right? Definitely. For utilizations, we are talking about using biological method, for example, using algae, catalysts, you know. So we need talent in terms of chemistry, biochemistry, and chemical engineering. And on top of that, for example, we need talent in process safety. We want to make sure that when you run a CCUS process, make sure it's safe. Okay. And also, other than that, we also need some other area, including carbon policy and economy. For example, we need people who is capable to do life cycle analysis, carbon credit certifications. So those area is crucial. And expertise in terms of data analytics, economics, legal, also important. Because like what I share with you, carbon policy and economy is a very wide area.
So what I understand from your explanation just now, basically UTP is providing the talent. Because we have all the area that covering all the things that you have mentioned just now.
Yes. Yeah. Actually,
the only thing maybe, I don't know whether my assumption is right or wrong, maybe one of the things that we should look into is that how we should embed this inside our curriculum, right? To ensure that our students are ready and understand basically there are CCUS area that they can go into and they can be part and parcel of the manpower for that particular area.
Yeah, this is in a pipeline. Even in my department, we have a plan actually to develop some CCUS facility
That's
within
good.
our department for undergraduate student actually.
All right.
So we hope that by going through this lab, okay, procedures, they will have experience, they will have an overview about the
I see.
CCUS, how it works. Will have a better experience when they finish their study. When people talk about CCUS, at least they can see the overview of the CCUS and they
Agree.
have some hands-on experience.
You're right. You're right.
And also, I want to highlight that because we're also doing a lot of research in CCUS,
Yeah.
and definitely the R&D capabilities in CCUS is very important.
Excellent.
Because whenever new technology, you need people to do the pilot testing. So the talent in order to perform R&D in CCUS is very crucial, and we are producing our postgraduate that will
Yeah.
have capability in CCUS. This is what we are doing at the moment.
All right. That's great. That's great. All right. I think I want to bring, just now we talk about the world, we talk about Malaysia. Now I think I want to move into the role of the university itself, UTP, which contributing to the CCS research and talent development. From your experience, how your team, which basically having a lot of experience and expert in CCUS, from UTP point of view, in handling all this research as well as engaging with industry. Can you share with us on that?
Okay, actually, I'm from Center of CCUS. Our center has been established in 2011.
Yeah.
This is currently is the 14 years after our
Wow.
first establishment.
Wow.
So it used to known as CO2 Research Center.
Okay.
Our center actually focusing on CO2 capture and utilization.
Okay.
But we also work closely with our colleague from Petroleum Engineering and Mechanical Engineering Department on the CO2 transportation and storage.
Okay.
And our strength will be on modeling, simulation, materials development, and process development for the whole value chain of CCUS.
That's great.
Capture, transportation, utilization, and storage.
Okay.
And our research mainly focusing on fundamental to applied research, TRL 1 to TRL 5.
Yeah.
And we also develop several commercial products up to TRL 9.
Wow.
At the moment, we have one commercial software that
Yeah.
actually currently used by Petronas and other oil and gas players, and also one tool that could actually predict the online corrosions for the gas pipeline that's transporting CO2. It's already deployed and already commercially available.
In Petronas.
Yes,
Wow.
they already deployed. And I'm proud to say that we are among the few universities in Asia that have capability to support the R&D activities
That's
for the
interesting. That's great.
entire value chain of
Yeah.
the CCUS.
Wow.
CTUS is
Okay.
capture, transportation,
Transportation,
utilization, and storage,
yeah.
including the carbon economy.
Wow.
Like what you say, we have our colleague that working on carbon economy,
Yeah.
life cycle analysis,
Yep.
and basically carbon credits. So, and our global industry partners include Petronas, Total Energy,
Okay.
PTTEP,
All right.
Thailand,
Yeah.
Charigali PTTEP, Sipok, Hyundai Heavy Industry, Baker Hughes,
Wow.
Sauser Chemtech, just to name a few actually.
Okay.
So those are our global
That's
industry
good.
partners.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So I think I have another question here. Yeah, you have all the solution with you. I mean, some of the solution you have it, and you are currently working with industries, which is very interesting. So, what is the biggest hurdle facing CCS today? Cost, regulation, or public perception?
Okay, looking at the hurdle or the challenges that you highlight, cost, regulation, perception.
Yeah.
So let me talk about cost actually.
Yep.
So typical cost for CCUS, the whole value chain is about $100 per ton. So a portion of the cost will come from the capture.
Yeah.
So basically it's around $25 to $50. It depends on the concentration of the CO2.
Okay.
The higher the concentration, the lower the cost. It can bring down the cost to $25.
Okay.
But for transportation and storage, more or less about $50.
Okay.
So that $100 per ton is some sort like Yeah, it's a rule of thumb that you have to pay. It's
Okay.
actually fluctuating depend on where you are going to store your CO2, what is the
Understood.
source, right?
Mm.
So then you ask the question, why is so expensive? Why you have to
Mhm.
spend about $100 to store 1 ton of CO2, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So actually, it's contributed by the high capex. As you
Okay.
know that CO2 is an acid gas.
Yeah, yeah.
So when we talk about handling, separating acid gas,
Mhm.
transporting acid gas, we need to
Mhm.
use a specialized equipment,
Yeah.
specialized material.
Yeah, yeah.
So the capex is high.
I
And the
see.
process also to get a high separation,
Mhm.
high percentage of separation, the chemical process also quite specialized, I would say.
Understood.
So definitely we need specialized equipment. The
Yeah.
capex is high.
Yeah.
Secondly, most of the CCUS technology required high amount of energy
Mhm.
because CO2 is a very stable molecule. I think
Okay.
you know. If you want to break the molecule, if you want to capture the molecule, we
Mhm.
need a lot of energy.
Exactly.
And energy is not free.
Yeah, you're
We
right.
need always it come with a cost.
Okay.
So that's why it contributes to a higher OPEX.
I see.
So with the high capex and high OPEX, it make the cost high.
I see.
So this is one of the challenge that most of the people face.
Understood.
And then the second challenge is talking about regulations.
Okay.
So
Okay.
regulations, many country will have this kind of fragmented framework, legal
Mhm.
framework on the CCUS,
Understood.
in which this fragmented legal framework will actually create uncertainty and risk for the investor.
Mhm.
And another one is about the long-term liability issue.
Mm.
When you have a legal framework that saying that, okay, they assure that,
Mhm.
okay, the legal framework will warrant,
Mhm.
okay, the safety, okay, of the storage for 50 years.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
definitely the next question will ask, what about after 50 years?
Okay.
Are you going to give any warranty or in case there's a leakage, So that legal framework must be holistic enough,
Understood.
basically covering different aspects, and
Mhm.
it's not a fragmented framework.
Okay.
Like I think the one that I want to share is the one that we're having in Malaysia, the CCUS Act 2025 is very holistic.
Okay.
Why I say it's holistic? Because it's provide technical, financial, and social aspect, the support in
covering
all these
this.
areas.
Yeah.
Like for example, government under this act, because government can provide incentive,
Mhm.
they can actually implement the carbon credits,
Yeah.
and the financial institution can actually give this kind of sustainable loan
Understood.
because, and then the investor also they feel like more confidence to invest because they have that sustainable loan from the
Yeah.
bank,
Yeah.
and the industry can also provide specialized research or investment fund to do the R&D.
Wow.
So you can see that this holistic framework is very important actually to ensure the success of this technology.
Mhm.
So, and last point you highlight about the public perception,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
The
exactly.
acceptance on this. Actually, for me, this is the most important segment that we have to tackle, the biggest challenge.
Okay.
Because we can have the regulation, definitely.
Yeah.
We can try to cut down the cost.
Mhm.
But how to make people believe this technology is safe?
It's working.
A lot of people say, okay, yeah, we know about this technology is transporting the CO2 and storage underground, but please don't do it behind my backyard,
Okay.
It's not behind my backyard. You can do it somewhere, in the offshore, but not behind my backyard.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
means that from that kind of mentality, it means that people are not confident,
Comfortable.
are not comfortable with this CCUS technology.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what we can do, I want to give you an example how to increase the awareness of people.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'll give you an example in Japan,
Yeah,
They
yeah.
started to inculcate this at a very young age. They even having what we call a cartoon actually that promote the CCS.
Maybe the
They-
same model we can do in Malaysia.
Yes, they call it with release manga actually.
Yeah, yeah,
Cartoon that with the theme of Let's Save the Earth with Cap,
Exactly.
the cartoon explaining the CCS pilot plant in Japan.
Maybe I don't want to promote this to the mass, but one of the recent movie, I don't want to mention the name, should also tell something out of about this. At least, yeah, when we watch together, oh, this is what CCS means, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. This may be the way
Yeah,
forward.
it's a very good idea. I think probably, the comic might not be manga, is Upin Ipin. I don't know, where the Upin Ipin talking about CCUS, right?
Yeah, this is something interesting that we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
look
yeah,
forward,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay. Before we come to an end, I think what gives you hope when it comes to CCUS and climate solution?
I always believe that the technological
Yeah.
advancement in CCUS
Okay.
is substantial. It's one of the key points, and basically it could lower the cost. Like
Mhm.
just you highlight one of the hurdles is about the cost,
Mm-hmm.
and also increase the public confidence
Understood.
during the implementation of CCUS.
There are still hope for that, right?
Yes. Why? Because we need technological advancement. I just give you and share my experience
Yeah.
of one of our commercial software for CCUS applications.
Mm-hmm.
So this software is triggered by the pain point of industry that applied
Okay.
membrane technology for carbon capture at offshore.
Yeah.
Basically, they are facing high capex on
Oh.
membrane element replacement. It's just
I
like a water
see.
filter at home; they have to replace it very frequent,
Understood.
and the cost is
Understood.
high.
Understood.
And also high OPEX, they are losing the hydrocarbons
Mhm.
during the operation.
Mm-hmm.
So our research team actually consists of myself and my PhD and master student have actually applied theoretical model and also AI to develop
Wow.
a membrane prediction tools.
That's good.
So this tool actually could optimize the membrane lifespan
Mm-hmm.
and also the membrane operation for carbon capture. And
Okay.
it's directly reduce the membrane replacement cost
Wow.
and minimize the hydrocarbon losses,
Okay.
which directly lower down the risk of using the membrane for carbon capture offshore.
If I may ask, this
Yeah.
is something that maybe out of the question that I have now. When is going to be implemented? Your technology. When is your expectation?
At the moment, the software has already been commercially deployed
That's good.
in Malaysia and
That's
Thailand.
good. That's good.
Yeah,
How about the
since
hardware and software?
2015.
Because you say about the membrane prediction, right?
Yeah, we are working on fundamental, like what I share with you. Our research focus is fundamental.
Okay.
But in the future, I think because most of our technology at TRL 4 and 5,
Wow.
actually we are looking for industrial partner to work together to actually mature our technology.
Maybe
from
this is
TRL
the thing
4.
that we should tell
Probably
audience
yes, probably yes.
to buy in your idea and collaborate
Yeah.
together with them, right?
Yes, probably this is a good avenue for that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, because most of our technology for carbon capture, utilization, storage,
Mhm.
they are at TRL 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Actually, we are looking for industrial partner.
So industry partner, this is your call now. Dr. Lau have that, and you should basically take this opportunity to work with Dr. Lau, right, Doc?
Yeah, to some extent. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, that's great.
And then finally, for this one, I think is crucial, and this example is clearly demonstrate that technology advancement in CCUS could
Understood.
actually clear up the barriers, the
Okay.
economical barriers, the technological barrier, they hinder the full implementation. And by doing that, it actually can increase the confidence of people of using. I
Great.
think this is a same example that we have it 100 years ago.
Yeah.
People don't dare to sit on the steam automobile, the steam car. They feel like it's very dangerous. They're still
Exactly.
relying on the horse,
Okay.
because no confidence.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
with the advancement of technology,
Mm-hmm.
this is what's happening now with CCUS because people are lack of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So one with the technological advancement, they make the cost cheaper, they make the technology more reliable,
Understood.
and then with a good, basically, what we call disseminations of the public awareness, basically we can actually implement this CCUS technology in
Understand.
the future.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Lau. Today's conversation shows us that CCS is not just about choosing between economic growth and sustainability. It's also about connecting these two. With the CCS bill now in place, Malaysia is laying the ground for cleaner industries, new investment, and future-ready job. And through research, industry collaboration, and talent development, UTP, University Technology Petronas, is helping to turn the policy into practice. To all students, CCUS represent a frontier of opportunity. To industry leaders, it offers a pathway to responsible, competitive growth, and to the public, it reminds us that climate solution can be practical, scalable, and helpful. Thank you, Dr. Lau, for sharing this, for sharing with us your insights, and we are very lucky to have you today, and we are very fortunate to hear about basically what is CCUS, and I believe you should work closely together with the industries and government as well. Thank you. You have been listening to UTP Exchange, where ideas converge, the official podcast of University Technology Petronas. If you enjoyed this episode, do follow the series and share it with your networks. I'm Azwan. Until next time, let's keep the ideas converge. Thank you.